Talk Line on Metro News all across the country. Everybody's tearing up their brackets, doing redos. Dave Weekley joins us from Metro News Hotline, our afternoon show. Dave, how's your bracket?
You know, my bracket is not in too bad a shape. I've got 11 of 16 teams left, and 3 of my final four teams are left. So that's all right, I guess.
Not bad, not bad. I was thinking, I wonder who had Florida Gulf Coast. I bet Parkersburg people did. I mean, you know, Chase Fraley's, what's his name? Chase, the kid from Parkersburg.
Fieler.
Chase Fieler. Chase Fieler's mom and dad probably had him.
Yeah, I would believe that they did. Florida Gulf Coast has just been an amazing story. And I love how aggressively they play. And, you know, after dealing with WVU, a.k.a. team turmoil, seeing a group that it really enjoys each other and enjoys the moment has really been refreshing, don't you think?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, great. And the West Virginia kid, the kid from Parkersburg South, I tried to get in touch with his mom or dad. I couldn't reach him today, but they must be high-stepping.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. You know, and people have been saying all weekend long, well, why didn't he go to West Virginia or Marshall? Or, you know, who really missed out was Ohio University. His dad played football at Ohio. His mom was a volleyball player at Ohio. Ohio knew about him. And if you put him on the Ohio roster, there's probably a good chance that they beat Akron and go into the NCAAs.
So Florida Gulf Coast, they're just brand new, right? Second year?
Yep. They're in the Atlantic Sun. And if you think about it, here they knock off Georgetown, then they knock off San Diego State last night. Hoppy, this is a team that lost not once but twice to David Lipscomb, the 9th place team in the Atlantic Sun. They lost 2 months ago by double digits to East Tennessee State. They're the perfect example of the team that's getting absolutely hot at just the right time.
Yeah. Does it end now that they play San Diego? They play Florida?
Yeah, I think it probably does. And it's ironic you asked me about my bracket because I'm the only person in my entire competition who has Florida going all the way. Florida has been consistently one of the best defensive and offensive teams the entire season. I think Florida shuts them down.
Okay. Elsewhere, you know, the West fouled people up with Wichita State and LaSalle. That fouled up a lot of brackets.
Oh, no doubt, no doubt. Yeah, it's going to be pretty interesting when you take a look at who's left in the West. You know, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
When you were watching that game yesterday in Dayton, I mean, did it ruin your whole day that the Buckeyes beat Iowa State?
I was really rooting for Iowa State. You know, I was. I mean, just because I root for the conference. Okay, so I got to root for the Big 12. So I root for the conference. That's what I do.
Yeah, I'm wondering about that too, because with West Virginia being so new to the Big 12, that in a lot of areas in West Virginia, the fans' second best team, or in many cases their top team, is Ohio State.
Ohio State. Yeah. Do you root for Michigan because of Beeline? Do you root for Kansas because of the league?
I root for Michigan because of their style of play. I love watching Michigan play. Michigan had some losses this year that are really head-scratching. Same thing with the Iowa State-Ohio State game. I mean, were you sitting there rooting for Kansas to beat Carolina? I mean,
oh, yeah.
You can't go anywhere in West Virginia, literally, in any mall without seeing somebody in Carolina blue.
Well, but that's fine. But, you know, North Carolina, to me, is I'm going to get in trouble, West Virginia was not wanted in the ACC. And one of the reasons was there's a certain elitism and smugness, and I think there's nothing more smug than some of the ACC basketball fans.
That may be true. And speaking of the ACC basketball fans, one of the things about the Florida Gulf Coast story that's interesting is yesterday in Philadelphia, while those Duke and Creighton fans were working their way into their seats, Florida Gulf Coast was playing. Once they got into their seats and saw the style of play that they were presenting out there on the floor, in the second half, you could just sense the entire building was rooting for them. They really rode the wave.
Sure. Well, they're you always got to have one of those teams everybody can root for.
Absolutely.
Who's playing really, really well right now? I mean, Kansas looked really good yesterday.
Louisville.
I thought. Louisville looks really good.
Michigan State.
Yeah.
Duke has looked good, I think. I really thought Creighton was going to give them a problem, and Duke. Here's the thing. Duke got into that game with Creighton, and everybody was looking for Duke stars to really carry the way offensively. It was Duke's defense. Duke shut them down, beat them by 16. That's a good Creighton team. I love the way that Duke is playing. They haven't played their best game yet. Michigan, Indiana is playing well.
Well, I thought they struggled against Temple. I mean, it was a 6-point ball game, and they had to pull that one out late.
Yeah,
So,
but their stars made the plays when they had to make them. I mean, the other thing that people seem to forget is a lot of these teams that we saw in the round of 32, these are good basketball teams. I mean, Temple is a good team.
yeah.
California was a better team than people thought. It's been a pretty interesting tournament.
Who was the team? Because I know you didn't just pick ones, because that would be uncool just to pick ones. Who was your team that you just went with, that you said, I got one here that I'm just going to ride this sucker?
You know what? I did play a lot of chalk this year for whatever reason. My Final Four is Louisville, Gonzaga, Indiana, and Florida. I've got Louisville and Florida playing in the final. I think the one team I took a flyer on was Minnesota. I think, I'm looking back in the round of 64. Honestly, I think Minnesota was like one of the few teams I took that was a lower seed. I really didn't go for a lot of upsets.
Mm-hmm. How about Gonzaga? Go
Oh, that's awful. I think it would have been a lot of fun for them to get there. Here's the thing. The first couple of days of the tournament, we really had a lot of snoozer games. We had a lot of blowouts. This, I thought, was pretty interesting. Potential game tying or go-ahead field goal attempts in the last 10 seconds. Last year's tournament, 0 for 13. Nobody made any of them. Now, here we are to the round of 16, 3 of 8. Aaron Kraft made one for Ohio State. Vanderbloom made one for Marquette. And Tyrone Garland made that shot that got LaSalle into the Sweet 16. So we're getting some last-second heroics, and that helps push the meter, too.
Yeah. The lead on ESPN today was Florida Gulf Coast.
Yeah, I think it
nice
will be.
Story.
I think it will be all week. That guard that they have, Comer, is awesome, and he almost went to Florida Atlantic, from what I understand. You were talking about Flyer. Flyer almost went to West Liberty. He had no Division I offers to speak
Fieler.
of.
How do you say his name's Fieler, isn't it?
Is it Fieler?
Chase
Okay.
Fieler.
Okay.
Fieler.
He almost went to West Liberty. He was looking at Glenville. Can you imagine him on West Liberty with the team they already have?
Oh my gosh. Yeah. He's a big kid, too.
Yeah, 6'8". Well, I mean, he was a guard. You probably remember him from the state tournament. He was literally a guard who grew like 7 or 8 inches when he was in high school.
Yeah. Great story. You'll be talking about that this afternoon, I'm sure.
Absolutely.
All right. We'll listen to you. Dave Weekley with the hotline this afternoon, and we'll be talking he'll be talking some bracketology.